All right, now we're going to do the UVs for our fan. I'm going to select the fan group. I'm going to select it in all of my views. So just go ahead and click on the isolate selected. Hit Shift F so that it frames in all of the views. And I'm going to switch this back to my top view instead of my bottom view. And then let's unisolate selected, isolate selected. Perfect. Okay, so the fan is done. We don't have a power cord, but for our purposes, this is perfect. If you wanted to create a power cord, I would recommend creating one here in the back so that it just goes towards the back, or we can recoil it, like put it into a coil, something like that. Pretty happy with this right here. I'm gonna see if I can do anything more interesting, but this is good. Perfect. Okay, so remember, when you do UVs, you want to select everything, go to level 1, and then don't worry that things go into other things. As long as everything is UV'd, that's all that matters. Okay, so what's going to happen with this fan blade is that we will delete them, these two right here, because we only need to have one with UVs and then recreate it. The whole back of our fan, I'm going to delete it because we're going to do the front, UV the front, and then flip it towards the back. And we have these guys right here, which I'm also going to delete because I will create the UVs for this one right here and then mirror it. We could say the same thing for these spirals right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We can keep 1 and then delete the other ones, knowing that we're just going to create 8. I'm going to write this down because I will forget, and then I'll be like, how many do we have? So we have a total of 9, so 9 spirals. And again, we're going to create one with perfect UVs, right? So again, select everything, go to level 1, and we'll start creating the easiest parts right here. So this object right here, I'm going to create the UVs for it. So let's go to our UV editing. I'm going to select everything actually, and I'm going to go to edit, delete UV, so nothing has UVs. If I was to assign a shader to this, let's say that I assign the right mouse button, assign existing material UV texture, it will turn black because it doesn't know how to showcase those. So let's go back to our Lambert. Perfect. Okay, so let's go to UV toolkit, and again, first thing that we're going to do, if I turn on the wireframe unshaded, remember we are going to be creating these UVs right here using automatic. So let's close everything. And let's start by going to create automatic. I'm going to hit Q to get out of this tool. Let's go to perspective. I'm going to do the same thing for here. I'm going to go to automatic, object mode, or right mouse button object mode. And then I'm going to go to this one right here, automatic, object mode, hit G. Will not do anything, so you have to click on automatic and then Q to get out of the tool, or right mouse button, doesn't matter. Let's go to automatic right here. Perfect. Another thing that a lot of people do is, like, once you create these UVs, you can assign a texture or something just to see what's been done or not. But the easy thing to do is just to select each one of these one at a time. Okay, for this one right here, I'm gonna go to automatic, and then I'm gonna select this guy right here, go to automatic, go to this one right here, and then go to automatic. And for this little guy right here, I'm gonna do the same thing, automatic. And let's do the fan blade. I'm gonna go to automatic, and when you select an object, if they don't have UVs, you're gonna get something that looks like this. Nothing is showing, right? Okay, so let's go ahead, bring up the wireframe unshaded. I'm gonna select the letter C, I'm gonna go to automatic, I'm gonna select the letter O, automatic, and I'm going to select the second letter automatic, select this guy right here, and then go to automatic. Some people could say that this one can be deleted once this one has UVs, copy and paste, but because we already bent those letters the way they are, I'm going to leave it. Perfect. So we got everything pretty much UV'd. I'm going to select this guy right here. Nope. Automatic. And if you start selecting all of your pieces, you should be able to see UVs in all of them. COOL front, this one here, this one here. We already checked this one, and perfect. Everything here has UVs. Everything is in the 0 to 1 coordinate. It's a mess, and we're going to tackle one at a time. Perfect. So let's tackle this one right here. So as you remember, the objective is to have the least amount of edges. I'm going to unisolate, select it, and isolate it one more time. And this looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how I can flatten this right here. These round objects are very, very easy to texture with programs like Substance Painter. So I'm not worried about these seams right here in the front. However, I'm going to try to do my best to have these as done correctly. So pretty much as a shell with a hinge right here. Perfect. So let's select this UV shell, and let's move this one right here. W. I'm going to move this one out of the way. Fantastic. Okay, then we have a lot of individual pieces right here, but I'm going to select this one. This is going to be the one that I'm going to start with, and then everything else I'm going to move it out of the way. Remember, it's easier to hold control and then deselect these. It'll be harder to deselect things if they're this close. So let's put this one here. Let's move this one here. We'll move this one right here. And then we'll put this one right here. And now I can start working from here. Perfect. Okay. So just like a flower right here, I'm going to select these guys here. The reason why those ones go over here is because we have this issue. So to fix that, if I go to 3, that's why we have these guys like this. So to fix it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these guys right here. I'm going to go to level 1, and I'm going to select this right here all the way around, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to click on cut, and so cut. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this UV shell. I'm going to move it here, and we're going to, let me hide the grid, and we're going to go to unfold, and I'm going to unfold it. Okay, so there you see these two, this hole right there. So, and then these guys right here are missing. So I'm going to select this edge here. I'm going to hit F, and again, this is going to move, one of these guys is going to move here. So when you click on it, this edge is shared by this one right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this little guy right here. Select this one. It's these ones right here. So I'm cutting that edge right here. I'm going to go to cut. And now this is one shell, as you can see. And this is another one. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to close the hole after, but I'm going to select this one and this one right here. And I'm going to go to stitch together. Again, hit F. Make sure that they're not anywhere else. So you can go control just to triple make sure, and then deselect everything else like so. And I can go to stitch together. Fantastic. Okay. Here, this edge is the same. So I'm going to go to sew. And I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to hit G for sew. And this one right here, G for sew. Fantastic. Okay. Let's go ahead and close this ones right here. So these ones have to be these guys right here. There. So it means that we have to cut this right here. Now, here's another trick. If I select all these edges right here, like so, even if I select everything, even the blue one, and I go to stitch together, because this is a hole, it is going to stitch it like this, right? And all we have to do is select this UV shell, unfold it, and these guys will be spread, as you can see. So this one right here is pretty good. I'm going to select this edge right here, and I'm going to go to straighten shell. Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to try to sew this here now, by double clicking on this edge loop right here. And I'm going to try it out, stitch together. And I'm going to unfold this. Now, the issue with this is that where the hole was, it got compressed. But if I unfold it, that's going to uncompress it. Another thing that I can do is I can select this edge right here and I can cut it. When I cut this and I unfold it one more time, this is going to spread apart and then these guys are going to come loose. Let's see if we can do that with this one right here. Let's go ahead and cut this one. Perfect. Let's go to UV shell, unfold. Okay, so that's not doing anything. So what I can do is I can select this edge here and sew it. Perfect. Let's add the rest of the leaves, which are going to be these guys right here. But I'm going to cut this guy here. Cut. I'm going to cut this one here. And then these guys here, I'm going to cut. And here, I'm creating like the petals of a flower. Cut. Perfect. All right, and I'm going to select this one here, and I'm going to go to stitch together. Same thing here. G, G, and G. Now these guys right here are these guys. So let me cut this right here. Perfect. So now you notice that I have two shelves, one here and one here. And let's select these edges here and here. Let's go to stitch together. That's good. So all the cuts start from here. So let me go to this edge here and go to cut. And let's go ahead and unfold it one more time. UV shell, unfold. Okay. So as you can see, we're having edges over here. But again, if you're using a program like Substance Painter with projection painting, these will disappear. Perfect. Okay, let's select this edge here. This edge right here. What is that? That is these guys right here. And as you can see, they're separate UV shells. So if I go to edge, select this and go to stitch together. Perfect. I'm going to unfold this one more time. UV shell, unfold. This looks pretty good. Everything here looks good. All right, so these guys need to be sewn. So I'm going to select this edge here and here. Those are those two little rascals right there. Let's go to stitch together. Notice the difference in sizes. Notice that when I go to, one of them is going to go here and the other one is going to go over here, right? Let's see, edge. Yeah, so no, right here. Okay, so that one is going to go here. And notice the difference in sizes, right? When you attach one shell to the other one, you'll notice that size gets fixed. So let's go to stitch together. Boom. See, they scaled up. Okay, this looks pretty good. I want to see if what happens when I stitch these edges here. So I'm going to go to sew, G, and I'm going to repeat the same operation one more time. To get the mouse out of the way, just select every other one. And let's go ahead and unfold this UV shell one more time. Unfold. And again, I'm worried about those front pieces right here, but they look pretty good. And I was able to bring my cuts right here. That's pretty good. So we are pretty much done. All I need to do is attach the bottom piece to the top piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my hinge right here. Let's go to stitch together. And let's go ahead and unfold this one more time. Perfect. I'm going to select this edge right here and I'm going to straighten UV shell. And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and undo that real quick. I don't know why those edges moved. These guys right here. What I'm going to do with these guys, because they're straight right here. Oh, actually they're not. They go in. Perfect. So the projection is good. So just to double check, you can go to UV shell. You can click on the third button. And this is going to give you your stretch and compression map. If it's white, it looks good. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. If is, you can only fix that by moving UVs. If I move this UV towards one side, red means compression, blue means stretch. So it mostly looks white, which I'm really happy with. And we are going to move on. So this guy is done. So let's turn this off right here. I'm checking this one right here. So this is called shaded. The one that I show you is called UV distortion. And this is the one that shows you your open texture. So I'm gonna go to 3 for smooth preview. Remember, don't ever look at this in smooth preview. It's not giving you the right reading. All right, now that we have this right here, let's go right mouse button, assign existing material. Let's give it the UV texture. And we're going to change the textile density to 8, like the rest. And there you have it. Don't worry that this is outside of the 0 to 1 square right here. We are going to fix that when we create our UDIM. So I'm going to actually move my fan pieces right here. Okay, so this guy's done. Let's go ahead and unisolate select it. And then let's start with this guy right here. Let's go to object mode, select the object, and let's go to isolate selected. Perfect. Okay, so this one is going to be pretty easy because this one right here, there's nothing we can do. I'm going to create 2 rings, and I'm going to put a cut right here in the middle. Instead of having an edge, texture edge here and another one here, and then one on the inside corner here and here, I'm actually going to cut these 2 guys in the middle here and here. Let's go to cut. Perfect. And I'm going to select this edge loop right here, and I'm going to stitch those guys, stitch together. This looks a little bit weird, but we will fix this in a second. And then I'm going to do this one right here to stitch together. Again, it looks really bizarre, but when you select the UV shell and you unfold it, it's going to look like this. If you have some issues like that, that means that some of these edges right here did not get welded. Like, for example, this one right here. And I'm going to go around, and I'm going to select these guys, and I'm going to click on, and as you can see right here, how they will be fixed. When you go to sew, they will get fixed, and then use, I'm looking at this also a level 3, so let's go to level 1. Perfect. And let's go to this UV shell right here. Let's see if there's any more of those cuts. Everything. Okay, let's go to this one right here. And let's go to sew. You actually can do the opposite side. You can select this guys right here, hit G. Right, and let's go all the way around. Select this one, G, and then this one here. G, perfect. So far, so good. I think I got most of them on the inside. Let's go this one right here, G, and perfect. No, there's a couple more, G. And this is good right here. Okay, let's go to the outside. So I'm going to pick a point to start. I'm going to start on the top, and let's go right here, G and G, and I'm going to go around it. Make sure that I don't have any of those little cuts along the outside edge of this, G and G. And let's keep going. So far, so good. Ah, here we go. And I'm going to go, no, here. I'm going to go G and G. And this is good, this is good, this is good. Good, good, good. G and G, perfect. And I started at the top, so far so good. All right. So now notice that when you select this object right here, UV shell, and you unfold it, right, because all that stuff was sewn together, you're going to get a perfect circle. All right, let's do this guys right here. Let's double click on this edge loop. Let's go to stitch together. It looks horrible. Let's select this one right here. Go to stitch together. It looks even worse. UV shell, and let's go ahead to unfold it, and perfect. Okay, so this only took 2 shells. There's going to be a little bit of deformation here and there, but we'll figure that out. So let's go to set this to a textile density of 8. One of them is going to be the front. So let's see who's who. Okay, so this UV shell right here is the front. So front, I'm going to put it on top. Bottom, I'm going to put it right here. Back, I mean. All right, perfect. So these guys and these guys are going to go together. So let's move these guys here. Fantastic. And now I can go to object mode, select this, right mouse button, assign existing material, UV texture. Perfect. And as you can see, these guys have a textile density of 8. Okay, so we're going to fix this, and that means that the front UV shell needs to be rotated counterclockwise 90 degrees. There. All right, and now this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to select this edge right here, the top edge, which is right here. Perfect. I'm going to select this UV shell E, and I want this edge to end up right here. So let's do that. Fantastic. I'm going to go to this edge. Double click on it. You don't have to select the entire edge loop. You can just select one and go to straighten UV shell. Perfect. All right, let's do that also for these guys right here. It looks like they're straight, but I don't think they are. Yeah, so let's go to straighten shell. Fantastic. All right, so these guys are done. Next, let's do the blade real quick. Let's go to isolate selected. All right, let's go to object mode. That tends to help. Isolate selected. Perfect. If I go to 3, all right, you'll see that I have no edge in the middle. So what I can do, just like a cube, right? We have nothing. Oh, we do have something in the bottom. Okay, that's our perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna find this UV shell right here. UV shell. Hit F to find it. Right. I'm gonna go E, and I'm gonna rotate this actually like so. I always check to see if this is that's the right direction. I'm gonna go to this edge right here, and I'm gonna straighten my UV shell. Fantastic. Let's move this right here. All right. And I'm going to select this edge right here. And I'm going to sew all of these guys right here in the corners. There's a cut here. There is no cut right here. So let's go ahead and create a cut here. Cut. Perfect. This will be one piece right here. I need to create a cut right here. Hit G for the cut. Fantastic. Excellent. This is cut here. That will be one piece. I'm gonna cut it just so that it's easier to move. But this one I'm not. Okay, let's go to cut. Fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna select all of these edges minus the ones in the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna hold control, deselect these ones right here. Fantastic. And I'm gonna go to stitch together. Exactly what I wanted. All right, and I'm gonna sew the back part here. So let's go to stitch together. Fantastic. And now let's sew the bottom part. The bottom part is gonna be interesting because it's concave, right? So that may be there by itself. It looks like it's going to be there by itself because if I cannot attach it to any of these guys right here. I could only attach it to this right here, like so. Because again, I cannot bend this underneath, but it is what it is. So let's select this guy right here. I'm going to make sure that this is a textile density of 8. And I'm going to go right mouse button. And I'm going to go assign existing material. UV texture. Fantastic. And so right here, I'm not too worried about these textures right here. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and rebuild this. And I'm going to open my outliner. Let's select the fan and isolate the fan group so that the rest of the stuff doesn't get on the way. Okay, fantastic. All right, so I'm going to select this guy here and this guy right here. I'm going to unisolate and then re-isolate selected. Because what I want to do, and let's do that here, is I want to, one more time, recreate this, the other blades. And notice that this blade right here is centered in the center of this cap right here. Perfect. So, and what we need to do is we need to go to edit, duplicate special options. And remember, you read this as X. This is your X column, Y, and Z. All right, that's the reason why we call three-dimensional coordinates X, Y, and Z. All right, fantastic. Hopefully I didn't yell too much on the microphone. All right, so let's do this. So I need to duplicate this. I'm just going to do a generic duplicate, and I need to move this on the Z direction, okay? Because this is where we're using. I need to go here, and then I need to make another copy right here. So I'm going to need 2 copies. So let's select this. Let's type in 2 copies, and they're going to be rotating on the X, the Y, and the Z right here. So what we need to do is we need to take our calculator, for those of us who don't know how to add, and I need to take 360 and I need to divide this by 3. So it's going to give us 120 degrees. So I'm going to say, hey, make me 2 copies at 120 degrees. I click on apply, and there you have it. And because these guys right here, I don't want them to be in the same place, just in case you want to make one dirty, or you want to have like unique textures. I'll select this one right here. Let's go ahead and hide this and select this UV shell. I'm going to move this one here. Perfect. So I have this UV shell, this UV shell. So let's move this one here. And then this one is going to go right about here. So let's select these 3 objects. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to select this UV shell right here. Put it like so. They look like 3 Pac-Mans on a pogo stick trying to eat the other ones. All right, fantastic. Let's go to level 1. These ones are going to be set to a scale of 8. And these guys are done. Let's move this guy right here. Okay, since we're at it, let's go ahead and create the UVs for this Bad Oscar right here. Select this. Level 1. And isolate selected, and so same thing. This is going to be the front. So I'm going to select this UV shell right here, move it, and I'm going to treat this like a flower pretty much. Fantastic. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these guys right here, and I'm going to see what this looks like. Let's go to edges, select all the edges. Let's go to stitch together, and let's now go ahead, go to UV shell and unfold. Okay, this doesn't look that bad, but it can be better. If I go to this edge right here, this edge is this edge, so I'm going to go to straighten shell. And again, it's not as round, these edges right here. Just look at these edges here and compare them to these edges right here. That is because I may have to cut these guys here and these guys right here. So I double clicked, and I'm going to go to cut, and now look what happens when I unfold it. Perfect. This is going to be closer to what we have right here. So we have more cuts than we wanted. Not a big deal. So, so here looks like something happened on this one and this one. Let's go ahead and I'm going to try this out face. I'm going to move it. So there's sun right here. That means that something here. Nope. These guys are fine. These guys are fine. All right, so I'm gonna go one more time, UV shell unfold. That's odd. I'm gonna optimize it, and I'm gonna unfold it. Huh, it's really odd as to why this object right here, it's tied up right here. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. Let's go to this edge right here, and let's go straighten UV shell. All right. These guys here and these guys right here are closer than, and these guys too. Again, let me double click on this edge. No, it is cutting those, which is really odd. Cut, and let's go to UV shell, unfold it one more time. All right, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to select this guys right here. Let me try this one more time. Let's go to cut. Perfect. I'm going to select this UV shell one more time. Move it here. And let me try doing this one and this one, and then this one and this one. Go to stitch together. And now let me try these ones right here. Okay. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go to not unfold, straighten UV shell. I did the unfold and nothing. Okay, this guy's done. So let's go ahead and put the back piece. I'm gonna put this hinge right here. Nobody's gonna see this. So let's go ahead and go to stitch together. Fantastic. Okay, so this guy is done. It's one piece, which is one of our main objective. Unfold, and now if I select this, right mouse button, assign existing material, and I go to our UV texture and I hit 3. Make sure that you have show texture, and there you have it. So the only thing that we need is to set the textile density to 8, and there you have it. So really odd, but okay. We are going to do next, we're going to do this guy here. So let's go ahead and select this object. Let's go to isolate selected. Fantastic. I'm going to go back real quick. I'm going to select this guy right here. And I think these guys are up there. Perfect. So I'm going to select everything that I've UV'd so far. And I'm going to move everything in this area. So UV shells, these guys are going to go here. I'm just putting them right here until I can start packing everything. That will be another video. We're going to pack these guys on a Udom. All right, let's select this. Unisolate selected, isolate selected. Perfect. All right, so this right here, I'm going to select the front. So let's go to UV shell. Here's this UV shell. This is the front. I'm going to select this face right here. All right, perfect. So this is aligned according to the world. Okay, so these, if I create a flower system, I'm going to have a lot of cuts around the edges. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to select these edges right here. And I'm going to go to stitch together just to see what this looks like. And okay, so instead I'm going to put my cuts right here. And the front and all of these guys right here. And it's going to make sense in a few minutes. Like this. I'm going to cut everything. Right? So let's go to cut. And then I'm going to double click on this edge loop here. And I'm going to go to stitch together. This looks like a hot mess, but once I select this UV shell and so I have to go here to my side view, so right view. I'm going to select all of these edges here, front and back, and I'm going to go to stitch together. Perfect. This looks like an insane mess. I need an opening right here. So I'm going to put my opening at the bottom, meaning that I need to have this open right here. Cut. And now when I go to unfold, UV shell unfold, I'm going to get this wrapped into a strip like this. Perfect. So let's see what this looks like with texture. UV texture, fantastic. Let's set this to a size of 8. And I want this guy right here, which is going to be that edge right there. Actually, let's select this edge right here, and I'm going to go to straighten shell. Actually, let's do the following. Let's go ahead and select this UV shell, and I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. I'm going to go W for move, and I'm going to see if I can see the letters. And so it looks like the letters read correctly at the bottom, but not at the top. And here they read okay. Let's go 90 degrees one more time. Okay, this really does not matter for now. So let's go ahead and move this guy out of the way. We do have a scale of 8. Fantastic. All right, now let's move it with these guys right here. I'm just going to put it somewhere over here. Let's go ahead and do the cone now. All right, let's go to isolate selected. And I'm going to do that for all of my views. So here, isolate selected. Let me go ahead and reset my cameras. Perfect. Remember, if you try to change your cameras and they're not working, just click on this button right here and I will reset your cameras. Okay, let's go right here and hit the space bar. Isolate selected. Fantastic. Okay, so Shift F will frame these in all of my views, even in RUV. So my approach to this is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to attach, because this is pretty much straight. If you guys go to the side, you'll see that these guys right here are straight. I'm going to select all of these guys right here, right, which are going to be all of these edges minus an opening. And I'm going to put my opening, let's see, I'm going to put my opening right here, which is this one right here. Perfect. Okay, so let's select all of these guys right here minus this one right here. Control deselect it, and I'm going to go to stitch together. And as you can see, that did not work. So because I need to cut this one right here, so let's go to cut, and now I'm going to select this UV shell, unfold it. Fantastic. Okay, this is exactly what I want. I'm going to rotate this right here. I'm going to show you guys how to straighten these real quick. Fantastic. All right, that's good. And I'm going to select these UVs right here. And these ones in the center. Let's move this UV shell out of the way. Right here. Perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edge right here, and I'm going to go to straighten UV shell. So this should be symmetrical. So if I select these UVs, let's move this out of the way. If I select these UVs right here, like this, right, I can go to under unfold, straighten UVs on the U and the V direction, and that will create something like that. These guys, I'm going to say, hey, I want all of these guys to move. Let's go to the bottom, very bottom, under, let me close transform, under align and snap. Okay, we're going to use these tools right here one more time. And I'm going to go to the most bottom UV. Fantastic. And then I'm going to start straightening things to the left and to the right. But these guys here, and I'm going to go straighten to the left, which means that these guys right here will need to be straightened to the left. And then these I'm going to move like so and like so. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to do that with pretty much everything. Another thing that you could do is you could do an average. You can select this guys right here and select this one right here, average. And I can do G and then do all of these guys right here like so. So that's an average. And then I can do this right here. So I can go average, but this one, and then go G and then G. And then all I have to do is align these guys right here. So these guys are going to be aligned to the right. And then these guys are going to move over here like this, minus this one, move these guys, minus this one, and then move these guys. If you guys want to center these right here, right, the easiest way to do is select these two guys right here. You'll notice that the center pivot is in the middle. So you're going to move the center pivot right here. Then you'll select this one, same thing. And then you'll select this one, and you'll do the same thing. Like so. All right. It looks like all of these guys have to be moved. So let's go ahead and let's select this one and this one. Aha. So these guys and this one have to be moved. Okay, let's try this. These, perfect. So these ones have to move a little bit towards the left. So somewhere right here, a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, that's good. These guys are gonna go like this. So now these ones are just about center, which means that these guys have to be like this. And then these guys right here, you can scale them in like so. And then the same thing with these guys right here, scale them. And there you have it, right? If you wanted to make sure that you don't warp this too much, you would cut this. You would select this UV shell right here, unfold it, right? I will move this right about here like this, right? Somewhere right here. Perfect. I will select this edge, stitch together, right? And notice that how the whole thing moves, right? Stitch together. But I can now go ahead and select this UVs, move these ones up, minus this one. And then select these guys right here, hit G. These guys, again, you can do these right here, like this. And then select these ones and then go up. And then it's just a matter of hitting G, because they're gonna align themselves to the ones on the right, like this. Perfect. Okay, now this one is going to give you a better, these guys are going to also move them up. Let's move these guys down so that it's obvious that they have to follow this one right here. Perfect. All right, again, these ones look pretty good. I'm not going to bother. And let me select this UV, select these UVs right here on the top. I'm going to do another, where are you guys? Straighten UVs, fantastic. And then these guys, I'm gonna make sure that they're all aligned to the left. These guys should be fine. Perfect. All right, so now that this guy's done, I'm going to attach this somewhere. So let's go ahead and attach this one, maybe right here. Doesn't really matter, nobody's gonna look in the back. All right, so let's go to stitch together, and we'll do the same thing for this one right here. The reason why I really don't care about these ones is because all I care is that they have one single UV shell. I'm not going to do unfold because that's going to rewarp everything. But I can do an unfold for this one. Yeah, it won't do anything. Okay, so I'm going to select this guy right here, and I'm going to go to stitch together. And this guy is done. Let's make sure that this UV shell right here has a textile density of 8. Perfect. All right, and let's go ahead and give it the UV texture. Voila. So it looks like we're gonna have to rotate this guy. Perfecto. All right, if I go to 3, one side is gonna be upside down. There's nothing we can do about that, but you notice like most of the squares look pretty decent. And this guy is done. So let's go ahead and unisolate select it. I'm going to close my outliner so I can see this little guy right here. Perfect. And now if I select the other ones, the other pieces that I've UV'd, not you, these guys right here. Right. Yes, you'll see that these guys are right here. I'm going to go W. I'm going to put them right here. And we're almost done. I'm going to now continue with these guys right here. So let's select this one. And I'm going to select these guys right here. Isolate selected. And let's create the UVs for these guys. All right, next we're going to unfold this guy right here. So what I'm going to do seems a little bit odd at first. Let's go ahead to unisolate selected and isolate selected one more time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the edges, all of them, right? And I'm going to go to cut and sew, stitch together. Now this is going to give me a mess. But while I'm here, I'm going to cut the 2 cups. I'm going to double click here. And I'm going to go to cut. All right, so I have a lid here and here. So I'm going to hit G. Right, and you can see by those thick white lines that these are cut. And I'm going to put a cut in the back most edge. So it's probably going to be here. And I'm not going to double click on it right here. I'm going to double click on it here because it will stop. Where did it go? Oh, it went in the opposite direction. So let's try this one more time. I'm gonna go from here and I'm gonna follow this edge to here. Hold shift, double click. Perfect. Let's go ahead and create a cut right here. And then this bottom lid, I wanna sew it here. So I'm gonna go to stitch together and it looks like nothing is happening. And I'm gonna follow that right there. Right there. And it's gonna be this edge here. And I'm gonna do the same thing, stitch together. Now it looks like a mess, but as soon as I go to UV shell and unfold, I'm gonna get this right here. Okay. This is at a weird angle, so I'm going to cut this and then cut the bottom. So I'm gonna go to cut. I'm gonna select this edge and I'm gonna straighten it. And I'm gonna unfold it one more time. Let's move this UV shell here. Perfect. Not perfect, right? There's a curvature because of this curvature right here. But what I can do is I can select all of these UVs right here, right? And we can go under unfold, straighten UVs on the U and on the V. And that's gonna give you a better unfolding. And then I can select this edge right here. Let's put this guy here. And I'm gonna go to stitch together. And I'm gonna do the same thing at the bottom. Stitch together. And this guy is done. So again, one more time, we're gonna select this UV shell. We're gonna give it the textile density of 8, kind of small. But now what I can do, let's go ahead and un-isolate everything. I'm going to hide. Let me go ahead and get rid of this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and reset this, tool settings. And I'm gonna go to Frank modeling. Fantastic. I'm gonna hide the image card, the shelf, bottom, medium. Okay, we're not gonna hide the top shelf items because the fan is here, right? Perfect. So I'm gonna select this guy here. I'm gonna perform modeling hygiene, center pivot, freeze transformation, delete history, and I'm going to isolate this guy right here. Let's go to object mode. Let's go to isolate selected and all of the views, Shift F. If you don't see them, go to unisolate selected, isolate selected, and then let's do this right here one more time. And then let's go right here one more time. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go right mouse button, assign existing material, RUV texture, and now it is time to spin this guy. So because I perform modeling hygiene, the center pivot, it's in the middle, as you can see right here. I'm gonna go to D, and I'm going to press V, which is snap to point, and I'm gonna move the arrows. I'm gonna snap it here, and then I'm gonna snap it here. It doesn't have to be in the very front, right here. It's as long as it's in the center from the front view, that's all that matters. And I'm gonna hit D. Okay, let's get out of texture mode so we can see this better. You don't have to turn this off. You can turn this one right here to the right of shaded called use default. Fantastic. I'm gonna go to 3. So this guy right here needs to have modeling hygiene performed to it. Perfect. Okay, we're going to spin this one. And remember, we need to have a total of 9. And I'm gonna go to edit, duplicate special, options. This is what we did last time, so I'm gonna go to edit, reset. So I need to duplicate this 8 more times. So I'm gonna type in 8 for a total of 9. And this needs to rotate on the Z. If you guys look right here, right, the Z is pointing in front of us. So X, Y, and Z. So let's do the math. So I'm going to select 360, and I'm gonna divide this by 9. So I have to rotate this at 40 degrees. So X, Y, and Z on the rotate, let's type in 40, and we want 8, click on apply, and there you have it, okay? So just to make triple sure, I'm going to make sure by going to my channel box, bring up the image card, select these guys, unisolate selected. I'm gonna go to 6, And yeah, it looks like we have the right one. Just to double check, I'm going to select these objects right here. Command, select the image card. Isolate, select it. And that looks about right. They're not aligned perfectly, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have 8, not 9. No big deal. Select these guys right here, delete them. All right, select this guy right here. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go to our calculator, 360 divided by 8. It's gonna give us 45 degrees, perfect. So let's go to edit, duplicate special. Instead of 40, we're gonna go 45. Nobody got hurt. Click on 7 now, because we already have number 1. And click on duplicate special. There we go, much better. Some of these guys, we could rotate them, right? To follow the drawing, I could go more like this here. Right, this one I can move it over here. But I'm actually gonna leave it where it is. This guy, move it a little bit more. It's kind of hard to figure out how to move them because it's such an abstract image that we can have carte blanche. We can do whatever we want. But this is good. This one right here is a little bit on the funky side, but I'm going to leave it there. And there you have it. Fantastic. Okay. So these guys now have UVs, as you guys can see. I'm going to select these guys right here. Unisolate, select it. And just want to double check, make sure that let's go to our UV editor and let's make sure that these guys have a size 8. Fantastic. And what we're going to do is we're going to select these guys right here, UV shells, and we're going to move them up there with the rest. I should have selected the UV shells instead of selected. Oh, I did that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate them. I'm going to separate one at a time, starting from this one right here on the top, which is going to go here. Then I'm going to have this one clockwise. Let's go ahead and move these guys right here. Then this one. And the reason why I have these like this, in case you want to have one that's rusted, one that's not, one that has paint, the other one that is has some paint chipped off, and so on and so on. It's better to manage these guys like so. Perfect. All right, so these guys are done. I'm going to quickly save my scene right here. I'm going to go to unisolate selected. Fantastic. Now we're going to do these guys right here pretty much the same way. But these guys are going to be super, super, super long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do only one of these, and then I will pause the video, finish the other ones. Actually, I'm going to skip these guys right here. You guys know how to do this. The only different thing that I would do here, let me select a big one and do this one. And then you guys can do the other ones. The only thing that I would do here, again, we're going to need a cut here and then a cut at the bottom. Because if not, this is going to be a very super long, or you can cut it in 4 different places. So again, let's go ahead and select all of the edges. We're going to go to stitch together. It's going to be a complete mess. Don't worry about that. And then find 4 places where you want to cut these. So I'm going to go to this edge right here, and I'm going to go to cut. Let me switch my camera to the front view. I'm next going to go to the most bottom edge right here. I'm going to go to cut. I'm going to go to the far right one. We're going to go right here, hit G. And we're going to go to this one right here and hit G. Now, the cut for this one, for the tubes, I'm going to put these in the back. So let's go ahead and select object mode and unisolate selected, isolate selected. So meaning right here, because nobody's ever going to see the cut in the back. So I'm going to double click right here and I'm going to go to cut. So now I'm going to have 4 UV shelves. 1, which is this guy right here. Let's go ahead and move it. 2. And we're going to want to have these guys clockwise. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fantastic. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unfold all of them. Unfold, 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 and unfold. Fantastic. Okay, they're different sizes, so select all of them. Make a textile density of 8, and let's see who's who, right? So I'm gonna go to unfold selected. All right, perfect. Okay, so this is the front. Fantastic. As you guys can see, the cut is in the back right here. All right, so let's start with this one right here. So let's go to this one. Let's go to UV shelves. Let's go to this one right here. 1. Then I'm gonna go here 2, 3, and 4. Fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna select these guys right here. And I'm gonna go one edge. I'm selecting this edge so I can go to straighten shell. And I'm gonna do that to all of these guys right here. G, G, and G. If one of them is bigger than the other one, it really doesn't matter. You guys will see that some of them are bigger than the other one. So I'm gonna go to UV shells, align these guys right here. Fantastic. All right, and then, all right, perfect. I just aligned these to this side. Again, I could cut these guys right here and then even, but this really doesn't matter. Okay, this is probably going to be like some chrome material or something. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and do the other two grills, and then I'm going to go and duplicate these guys in the back. So let's go to pause the video. All right, let's continue with this piece right here, and then we'll duplicate it 4 times. So this one, it's very interesting because what we're gonna do here is we're going to treat this as if we were to unfold this part right here. So first we gotta find this UV shell here. Perfect. I'm gonna move this guy right here. I'm gonna rotate it because I wanna have this edge right here straighten my shell. All right, I'm going to now select these edges here. Right, and it'll make sense in a second. I'm going to go to stitch together, right, and then I'm going to select this one right here, stitch together. Let's go ahead and straighten this edge here. That's not giving me the right straighten UV shells. Let me go to unfold it one more time. Much better. Okay, so I'm going to do this for the outside. And then I'm going to do it for the inside. These guys right here, these edges, right, are going to be these little guys right here. But what I want to do, I want to cut these right here. So let's go to cut. And we're going to find these guys right here. So cut here. I'm going to also cut right here. All right, let's go ahead and move these guys out of the way. That's the inside, this part right here. And this guy, exactly what we want. These guys, looks like we're gonna attach these guys right here. Again, no, these guys right here, perfect. But they're also going to be attached right here. So Control deselect these, stitch together. And that means that there were some guys right here. Control deselect these. I'm going to deselect everything except for that. Stitch together, much better. And this one right here, it goes right here. So I'm going to select these guys right here, right? Minus these, and let's go to stitch together, and this one right here I'm going to cut it. Perfect. That's also for the inside part. All right, so I'm going to select these edges, this one's right here, and I'm going to go to stitch together, and let's go ahead and cut these right here. and cut these ones right here. So I can stitch this one here and this one right here, from here to here. Perfect. And I'm going to do the same thing right here with this one. I have to make sure that, yeah, there it is, stitched together. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Select these. First, I'm going to attach them right here. Perfect. I'm going to select this edge here. This one and this one. Let's go to cut. Select this one and this one right here. Stitch together. And let's do here G. And now for this one. Perfect. Okay. So this is the outside right here. This must be the inside. So let's try this. Let's select this UV shell right here. Perfect. That's the inside. So these guys right here, I may stitch them together. Or actually, I may put them right here. Let's see. Let's go to this edges right here. And I'm going to select this little guy and this little guy. Let's see who they are. Ah, perfect. Let's go to stitch together. And I'll do that over here. Stitch together. Fantastic. Now all I need to do is sew these guys right here. And I can even attach these right here to form one single UV shell. Perfect. And there you have it. So last thing that we're going to do is select this object right here. I'm going to go to set the textile density to 8. We are going to give it the UV texture material. Perfect. And now it is time to put this together with the rest. So I'm going to select the fan group. Go to object mode, select one of these, up arrow key. Perfect, that's the group. I'm going to go to isolate, select it. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to select all these pieces right here and here. These are the letters, which is fine. Okay, I'm going to select this guy right here, and I'm going to put it somewhere here for now. These guys can go over here for now. When we do the video unpacking all of this stuff right here, it will make a lot of sense. And I'm going to create 4 of these. So I'm going to put this guy right here. And let's go ahead and select this piece here. And select this piece right here. And let's go to unisolate selected. Perfect. And I'm going to do that right here. Actually, I'm going to select with command the image card. And now I'm going to unisolate selected. Fantastic. Okay. So for this object right here, what I want to do, I want to put the pivot pointers right here. And since I moved those, what I'm going to do is select these guys plus these guys right here. Let's go ahead and do unisolate selected. Let me get out of UV editing. Let me reset my cameras. Fantastic. Okay. Unisolate selected. Perfect. I'm going to select this and then these guys right here. Perfect. And this guy right here, and obviously this guy right here, and our image card isolate selected. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and select this one. Here's the pivot point. This one I can use the duplicate special, but it's going to be easier just to go Control D, E for rotate. I'm going to scale my 3D gizmo, and let's go ahead and move this one right here, like so. Perfect. I'm going to freeze the transforms. Do not center the pivot point. Control D. Let's put this guy now here. Freeze the transform. Do not center the pivot point. Last but not least, Control D. This guy right about here, but it looks like I'm missing one of those arms. So let's go ahead and select all of these guys right here. Select all. I don't want to do that. I want to do these and this. and isolate selected. Aha. Select this little guy right here. Perfect. And now let's go to isolate selected. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, and of course I forgot to select that new piece right here. So let's try this one more time. Select these guys right here. Control, Command on a Mac. And these guys are where? Oh, they're right here. Hit F. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, so this guy right here is going to be E for rotate. And let's push this guy back right about here. I'm putting it in the center of these guys right here. All right, excellent. So Q, I'm going to select all of these guys right here. Now I can perform modeling hygiene. I don't need to center anything. Fantastic. All right, so what we have left right now are going to be the cool letters. So let's go ahead and select these letters right here. Let's go ahead and select these in all of our views. Shift F so that they're all framed. Fantastic. Okay, let's go to our modeling hygiene. So for those clips that I did, I'll redo the naming. This will be 1, so I should have 4 of them. So I'm gonna minimize drag this guy right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll name them 1, 2, 3 like this. 2, get rid of that geo 1. 3. Let's get rid of the geo 2, and last but not least 4. Get rid of the geo 3. Okay, let's do the letters real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the letter C. And then I'll do the rest. Okay, so let's go to UV editing. As you guys can see, it's got UVs. So here what we do for these letters is that I'm going to stitch all of, let's go right here, F, perfect. We're never gonna see these faces right here. So one thing that I could do to save time is I could select these guys, delete them, and then double click on this right here. Let's do the following. Let's close this right here so it's easier to see. Delete. Because at the end of the day, that fencing will prevent us from looking inside. And this is going to save a lot of stuff. Notice that when I do this right here, and then this one, and then this one, hit delete, right? Notice that when I do that, I end up with these strips right here, which I'm going to attach over there real quick. Okay, so let's go right here. I'm clicking on one, shift, double click on the next one, delete. All right, this one may be interesting, so let's see. So click on this face right here, double click on the one next to it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna go from here to here, and then click here to here, this one to this one, shift this one to this one, and then this one to this one. Perfect. I'm creating, selecting the surrounding faces, deleting them, and then when I double click on this one, it doesn't matter. It will not go over the other ones. All right, fantastic. Okay, let's start with the letter C. So what I want to do, I want to have this side as a single strip. So I'm going to go to UV shells and I'm going to select these guys right here, right? All of the UV shells that make the letter C, even this individual ones, perfect. All right, and what I want to do, so I want to move these guys right here. And I'm going to attach them. Let me make my 3D gizmo small. I'm going to attach them together, right? And then I'm going to find a place where I can cut this strip. And I'm going to cut it in two places. I'm going to cut it here, here, and probably here. So I don't have a super long strip. So first, let's go ahead and attach them. Select all of the edges. Control D, select these guys here. And let's create, we'll cut it right here. So control, I'm going to double click on this one. There's already a cut right here. And let's go to stitch together. Perfect. All right. Let's select this edge here. From here to here. Right, I don't want to cut the front faces, right? Only these guys are here, and let's go to cut. And we're gonna have a strip that's gonna go from here to here, another one that's gonna go from here to, let's say, here. And then an, oops, cut. Okay, I keep hitting this, cut, here we go. Actually, let me undo that. I'm gonna cut it right here. From here to here, cut, and then we're gonna do the same thing right here, from here to here, cut. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna cut this little guy right here. It'll make sense in a second. Cut. It's cut already here. Fantastic. Okay, so as you can see, I have 4 somewhat even, and I'm gonna select this guy right here, right? It doesn't matter which one starts. That's good. Should be this one second, third, and fourth. Okay, they're roughly the same distance. Again, you can make them even if you want to. Okay, I'm going to straighten these as much as I can, because we're going to use our straighten UVs tool. But first, what I want to do is I want to select these patches right here and sew them right here. So I know that the edges are going to be all of the edges where the bevel is. So I'm going to select these edges here. Right, notice that it selects this group right here. I'm going to go to stitch together. We have to unfold them. I'm going to select all of these edges right here, minus these edges, obviously, because if not, I'm going to re-sew the stitches back together. Perfect. Let's go to stitch together. We need to cut this guy right here. Perfect. And then we're going to select these edges here. I am not worried at all about these guys right here. As you can see, all I have to do is select these and unfold them. That's why I'm not worried about that. We'll straighten them in a second. And then I'm going to select these edges from here to here and then stitch together. Oops. From here to here, which is the last strip right here, and stitch together. Perfect. All right, I'm going to go to UV shell. I'm going to unfold it, right? There's a tool right here called the unfold tool. And this is it allows you to paint this and then unfold it, right? Another tool that we have is the optimize tool. This does the same thing. If you select this edge right here, right, you can click unfold along the U. I'm gonna go V for vertical, right? And so on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select these UVs right here. And I'm going to go to straighten UVs on the U in this. If you get this issue right here, it's very easy. You select these, you rotate them, move them right here, and you're going to do the same thing with these guys. What happens is that you're reaching an optimum curvature, right? If it's too much of a curve, it will not work. Okay, so select these guys right here, straighten U's on the U and the V. This one right here is kind of odd. So I'm going to bring these guys to the lower bottom, and then these guys are going to go towards the top like this. Okay, I'm going to experiment one more time. Go to unfold along the U and the V. Whoops, straighten UVs, perfect. Okay, all right, again, if I select this object right here and I go to unfold, you'll notice that this one doesn't have so much as a curvature as this ones do, right? So if I select these UVs, and I go to straighten U's and V's, I will get a better job than the other ones. You get some weirdness once in a while, right? Not a big deal. So this one, I'll select this one, and then with the up arrow key, I will move this guy right here. That is interesting. It looks like I have an orphan, but I don't. So let's go to straighten U's and V's. Huh. No, that's one, which is really odd. Let's try this one more time. UV unfold. and straighten you. Okay. All right. So here again, before I do that, what I can do is I can go E to rotate. I'm going to keep these guys straightened, and then what I'm going to go to UVs. I'm going to select all of these UVs right here. E, rotate these. Whoops. Let's move this guy right here. This one is going to be a very easy fix, but I just ran into a problem. There we go. These guys need to be sewn. All right. And again, I can select these UVs individually and straighten them somewhat like this. Right. And when I select this right here and I go, you can also go to UV shell. You don't have to select the UVs. And then you can unfold it one more time, straighten UV shells. If you're still getting weird stuff, click on this a few times. Select this UVs, go down. That's so weird. Okay, let's try to unfold this one more time. And let's go to E. Okay, for these ones, I'm not going to fight. I'm just gonna go like this. And now when I unfold them, sorry, straighten UVs, now they will work better. So select this UV shell. Okay, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. It's probably possessed by the devil. Okay, let's select these UVs right here. And I'm gonna go disable the pivot point. I'm gonna put the pivot point here, right? And then straighten these guys to the best of my abilities. And then Control deselect these. Right, I'm going to roughly move these guys like so. I'm just trying to help Maya do a better job. That's pretty much it. This should work right here. If I go to here and I straighten these, there you have it. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to select these guys right here. I'm going to, remember, this align doesn't only work on UVs, it can work on UV shells like this. And then I'm going to move this here, this here, and this here. I'm going to show you how to do even strips. So we know that these edges right here are the same thing as these edges right here, right? So if I, for example, cut right here, and then select these edges right here, I can move this guy down here like this. So now these two guys are pretty much the same, right? Perfect. Okay, this one right here, these guys are over here. So notice that I have all these guys over here. So what I can do is I can select half of this, right? But from here, so for example here, I can go to cut, and now I can select these edges right here, and then go to, that's it. And now as you can see, right, there, these guys are almost the same thing. I can put, you know, start cutting strips and all that stuff, but you don't want to waste too much time. I'm going to just do these guys real quick. I'm going to cut, right? And then these guys are going to go over here. So let's go to stitch together, right? And then these guys will probably go over here, stitch together. But I'm going to cut these, put them over here, or maybe I should do these right here. Yeah, let's do that. Cut, and then select these guys right here, and then go to stitch together. Perfect. So these guys are roughly the same size. Let's see now. Yeah, roughly. I'm not gonna waste my time with these guys over here. I could cut this one, put it over here, and then cut one of these guys and put it over there, but this is good. All right, I'm gonna select all of my UVs. Perfect, and there you have it. So this is the letter C. I'm not going to bother with the other letters. These are self-explanatory. For the O, what I'll do is I'll have the same thing, but we're gonna have an outer strip that's gonna go from here all the way to here, and then one that's gonna go from here to here, and we'll do the same thing for the inside. I can put the cuts on top and the bottom, right? And then for the letter L, I'll have a strip that goes from here to here, one that goes from here, one that goes right here, and then another one that goes right here. So one that goes like this, one that goes up to the middle, one that goes right here and like this. Try to keep all the letters strips together. If I select this UV shells, I'll move them right here. Last thing that I need to do, set this guy to size 8. And what this happens is not a big deal. So let's go ahead and align these guys like this and then move these like so. And here is the UVs for the letter C. A lot of people, they tend to have one single strip and then they attach the strip right here. You could do that, or you can do sections of your strip like this. But to be honest with you, it's not worth it. Sometimes it's just easier just to paint these guys right here. But I've seen letters like this, just because it's easier to control these guys right here, right? You'll notice that for the inside, what I can do is I can cut it, but it will not be able to go straight, right? So again, you can do that, but I'm gonna leave mine the way that they are right here, like so. And I'm gonna put them together. And this is the letter C, and this is how you create the UVs for these letters and for the entire object. I'm gonna go to assign existing material, and there you have it.